feel like it's harder to socialize now that we're finally coming out of COVID. You have to shake off some of that social rust, and it seems a little bit hard to do. Well, if you want some ideas on how to go about doing this, stay tuned. Hi, this is GH Glade for Coaching ADD. Many people find it really hard to make conversation after the isolation that's come about with the COVID pandemic. That reduction in physical availability of those social connections may have left you more stressed. You may have turned more to social media as an outlet, and social media is other people's highlight reel while it's your blooper reel. It often has some very destructive potential for people's sense of their self. I find in talking to a lot of people, COVID has brought about this malaise that's affected many people. It can play out as a lack of motivation to even reach out to others. You may feel like you have nothing to say because your life has been so restricted, and you may feel like you've gotten rusty with being able to engage with others. There are some ways of combating this. Pro-social behaviors improve that sense of well-being and social connection. What are we talking about here? These are engagement behaviors with other people. Things like volunteering, things like checking in on somebody who may live alone and not be really connected to begin with folks. There was a recent study in the UK where they looked at 50,000 people, all adults. Those with pro-social behaviors had a far greater sense of well-being. They had fewer depressive symptoms, and they had a greater sense of belongingness. Remember, if you were that social person before, you don't have to learn anything new. Those skills have just gotten a little dormant. First of all, you may find yourself a little different. Don't try too hard to be your old self. Be the person you are now. You may have come to some realizations that maybe it's okay to be a lot less social than you were before. Acknowledge that coming out of isolation, that you feel a bit awkward. I often feel like I'm just too much in my head. And you may want to ask people if they feel the same way. If you acknowledge this and show some vulnerability, first of all, others are likely to identify with this too. It is really common. It comes up all the time in the course of my working with people. The interesting thing about that openness, that sense of vulnerability, is it helps build rapport with other people. You're sharing a part of yourself. And that is so much better than the superficial stuff that a lot of times we just engage in. Most of all, I want you to be patient with yourself. Give yourself some time. Allow yourself not to be perfect. You are not the same person before COVID. Be the person you are now. So if this has been helpful for you, please thump that like button, share it with friends, share it with other people who might find utility in this video. And until next week, this is GH Glade for Coaching ADD. Thanks for sharing this time with me. Take care.